Hafade, my name is Jonah Eustachio, and I'm going to be covering the War in the Pacific National Historical Park. So I'm going to be talking about the submarine and a little bit of what we were just watching inside the museum. So this right here is the Japanese submarine. So it ranges around 75 feet long, and it's meant for only 2 of the Japanese soldiers inside the submarine. From the way it's angled, this is what it looks like underwater, and this was from the point where it was started at Pearl Harbor, and it was brought here as one of the submarines. So this is what it is. So yeah, this is the submarine, and inside we were mostly covering about how they came here to the Roti Peninsula. It was exactly December 10th, 1941. It was here at Asan, and the other one was at Agate. So that's where the places where the Japanese troop landed. And during that 1941, we have our local Chamorros in the Insular Guard as the first Chamorros to be with the first Chamorro people to be with the U.S. in the War of 1941. That ranges to 1944, and most of this is what covers the War in the Pacific National Historical Park. And that concludes my presentation.
A little bit about when did it open? When did this open?
The museum opened 10 years ago. Around 10 years ago, a little bit longer.
Welcome to Guam Point, and my name is Elysha, and I'm going to talk about Guam Point. So as you guys could see, it's next to the beach because this is like where they get their supplies. Okay, it's next to the front row location. It would be because it would be an idea for them to set up supplies and equipment that were critical for the inland advance. So the Japanese used this site to bring these things in and to help them for the war, because the United States is trying to take over this location because they wanted to secure the area of Orote Peninsula. And as you can see, there's 2 guns right there, and this one. One is near the beach and one is right there, and I think this one is the 25mm anti-aircraft gun used for the high explosive immunization and could fire 300 rounds a minute. And that gun over there is the second gun, is a 200mm coastal defense gun. Both of these guns were used to fire troop ships and landing crafts. So this is Japanese weapons. And there are approximately 20 other guns like this found in this area. There are 20 guns, approximately 20 guns found here from the Japanese troops. And they were trying to secure this area because it's important, because the airfield and entrance to Pearl Harbor is near here, and it's very convenient to them. And Guam Point is part of the southern landing site of the U.S. forces in the liberation of Guam on July 21st in 1944. The southern landing area encompassed from Bangui Island to Opera Point, which is located in Santa Rita. Upper Point is located in Santa Rita. That concludes my
Half a day, everyone. My name is Erica de la Cruz, and welcome to Seri Bay Overlook. So we're in the village of Nomadic right now, and Seri Bay Overlook is one of the most well-known scenic spot or scenic spot here on southwest side of the island. And the surrounding foothills and Seti Bay are part of the Guam's territorial seashore park. And also right across you could see the Mount Lam Lam and next to Mount Jumulong. Oh, sorry, there. Where we can see the crosses where the local people visit, yeah, every Easter. And then also the overlook will give you a view of the volcanic rock, which comprises most of the southern of Guam. And also on the south, that area, that side, that is Cocos Island. And also, what else we have here? Sorry.
What's this blue ocean name? What's the name of the blue ocean?
Oh yeah, the blue ocean is the Philippine Sea.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's it.
How do you get down there?
How do we get down there? So only through hike, or you need to ride a boat.
Right about.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes.
All right. Enjoy.
Any questions? Yeah, there. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Barbara Taranyo. I am here to talk about Fort Soledad, which is located right here in Nomadic. It overlooks, overlooking Nomadic Bay. The canyons are a replica of the Spanish era, which technically the fort was built in 1806 or 1819. That's it. I think. No? No. It also shows the southern mountains behind us, or that way. And then you have the beautiful bay this way.
The bay?
And then
What's the name of the bay?
Nomadic Bay.
Okay.
And this is the Philippine Sea that enters the bay. That's it.
We are preschools in Maritzo. So, like Mr. Chong said, it takes about 10-minute hike to get from the parking lot to here. So it is a very easy trail. We use it. So around us, you can take along the sights of the beautiful meadows and wildflowers with mountain views and the ocean below. So the first waterfall behind you is actually the main pool. There are seven or eight pools, but the first one is the main one, and you can. The first and second actually are the only ones that you can actually jump in. And the largest pool is around 9 meters long or 4.5 meters wide. And the depth is about 2.4 meters. So it continuously fills up from the Pigua River, I believe. Yes, which is like over there. And if you recognize the church that we just passed by going up the hill, the Dimas Catholic Church so where we got the preschools got the name, the priest from the church down there would go here during their free time to bathe in the cool fresh water, and this was around the 1500s. Yes. And that. So to go, yeah, like I said, only the first two are the ones that you can actually swim in. Down there, they're actually pretty shallow, so I do not recommend going to jump in this. And that is all. That concludes my presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Carmela. So we're at the Asin Bay Overlook, and over here you can see the Philippine Sea. When you go up there, you'll see the list of names, the memorial wall of all the names of the people who died and suffered from World War II. It was completed in 1994, which is also the 50th anniversary of the liberation of Guam. So 50 years after this, they built this wall to honor all those people. When you first walked in, you saw that big bronze sculpture, and that depicts pictures of it. Has the picture of during the war, the battle, the Japanese occupation. So you can also have a view of Asen and Pidi. And so if we go over to the wall, you can actually find names of. So there's only, or I thought that the wall was just for the military, the servicemen, but there's actually 14,000 names of people from Guam, and then only 1,800 of the military servicemen that died during the war. There's also on the website, if you go to Asen, or if you search up Asen Bay Overlook, you can find a list of all the names. So if you want to look for your relatives on there, you can also find it, on the website. And
So Day guys, my name is Faith. We're here at PD Guns. These guns are Vickers Type Model 3 140 millimeters coastal defense guns, and these guns were manufactured in 1914, and during the Japanese occupation, which was from 1941 to 1944, the Japanese placed defense stations around the island, and all these guns and many others were carried up the mountains here on Guam, and they were carried up by Chamorros. Oh yeah, these guns also have a firing range from 10.6 miles, and these guns in particular were used mainly around the island to attack ships and landing parties. But these particular guns that we're about to see, they were never fired because the time the Americans strike, the Japanese wasn't ready for that time. So the American troops came here to Guam on July 21st, but the area was all captured on July 22nd. Yeah, and the forest around it too, it's a mahogany forest, and it was planted by the Guam Agriculture Station and School in 1828, and they're plants that were native to South and Central America, so they're not native plants here on Guam. And that concludes my presentation.